very good evening to you. My name is Carol Commander. Welcome to Trytime. We have a lot to talk about today, and at the very end of this show, we will have a tiny bit of a surprise for you. We'll have my people here competing against each other for no reward, just a pat on the back, probably.
No,
but
I'm not
yeah,
as petty.
Benja is petty, but it's just going to be
petty.
just a pat on the back.
No, that's not worth it.
Okay, fine. There's gonna be a reward, but
Yes.
I won't say it.
Super producer is going to take us. Is going to sort us out with the reward.
It's closing day.
No,
so
okay, fine, whatever. But me, I know it's just a pat on the back. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Benja. Welcome, Lavin.
Asante sana.
How are you guys?
Good. It was a struggle coming here today.
Because the cold.
See, Kenya survived relegation. Didn't I warn you?
Now that should have motivated you
Didn't I warn you
to
that
be
that
here
was going
even
to...
by
No, that
even
was
an
really-
hour
the
earlier.
weekend was long. Back at today. Yeah.
Oh, frothy beverages.
Yeah. Carrying on.
So it was a celebration.
Actually, from Saturday evening. It's a massive celebration.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lavin, the same for you.
Well, kind of, but also the weather is a huge contributor. Because, you know, the thing about Kenyans is when it's cold, even if the degree drops by 1, we start all conversations by complaining about how cold it is.
Exactly.
So
And how lazy and
actually, it's very cold.
and that's how we're starting the show. It's very cold, guys. It's very, very
But at
cold.
least we're warm
Yes.
now that we are assured of
Yeah.
cost status next season.
Exactly.
Yeah, much
Now,
warmer.
join us in on our conversations via our social media handle, that is @Bamba Sports. The hashtag to use is hashtag TryTimeKE. Let's start. This weekend, we encouraged the boys.
You
Of
mean
course
last
the-
weekend or this weekend? There's still something.
This past weekend.
Oh, the past weekend. Okay.
Yes.
You said this. You said this weekend. So
This past weekend,
was-
Benja.
Okay.
Yes.
I was a bit
The
confused.
boys-
I'm sorry.
The boys put the best foot forward, and despite the pressure and all that, they didn't crack.
Yes.
They did what we wanted them to do, exactly what we wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very commendable. I think for us, it's congratulations to the team.
Yeah.
I think they did very well. Is as we had said last week, that the first best game to win is the
Yes.
first one, and Australia, albeit not
I mean-
scratching and using the numerical number,
Yes.
still ended up with a tie,
Yeah.
which for us was safe enough. Now, it
wasn't-
only meant that we
wasn't
had
bad.
to work.
It wasn't a loss.
It only meant that we had to work extra hard.
Yes.
The South Africa game, I think.
Okay, what did you expect from the South African game?
No, actually, after the Australia game, I actually expected a win, to be honest, because I thought the hunger is in us, the zeal to survive,
Yeah.
as is in the jungle. When you corner an animal, it will come out fighting, and I thought that would have been the case. We just let it slip because of one or two things that we didn't do. We had missed tackles.
Yes.
I think 2 missed tackles that really cost us, and that was at the crucial point. So that blanked us out. Of course, we're left with Wales, who we were
No,
meant to battle with.
that was we had to win.
Yes, we had to.
We had to.
And of course, the boys played out of their skins, and commendable for Andrew at 36,
mean,
being the champion that he is.
You know how people say when you get to a certain age, your bones start refusing and
Yeah, if you're just walking around town, that happens a lot.
yeah.
If you're just walking around and coming to work, sitting, riding a bus or driving, going back home, that happens. But an active sportsman can go on for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it's special also that at that level. I think he's competing people like Naijama or something from Japan, and
Yes.
Rodwell and Mickelson. No, Mickelson is a lot younger, but there's very few of them at that level.
Yeah.
Yes,
And look at him. He does not look like someone who
he's taken rugby as a profession, so
Yes.
he's doing quite well. And I think for him, I tip my hats off for him because he's working with younger players.
Yes.
He's played the whole 15th season for KCB. He came back even after the debacle with the union. He's one of the guys who said, forget the pay, I'll do this job. And you don't go beyond. There's nothing else that speaks patriotism like what Andrew has done. So I tip my hat off to him. And I think he was a very good leader on the field.
Yes.
I think just sticking with Andrew, you know, the thing that people don't realize is what you're seeing now is years and years of preparation. Andrew is one person who goes the extra step. He takes his preseason training very seriously. And we talked about the impact that preseason training has on you throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I think the amount of time, obviously, with being a member of the KCB rugby team as well, they have the resources for them to have a good preseason.
Yeah.
And
to
remember,
prepare,
prepare both for the 15s, and I think the sevens has benefited from a good system from KCB because remember in the seventh season when it started, we did not have the best preseason.
Yeah.
But I think for a player like Andrew, he's used the resources available to him at his club
at
KCB to
prepare,
put himself in this particular position. But going back to the three games we played on day one.
Yeah.
The game against Australia, one thing that I believe has been our downfall throughout the season is kickoff retention, the tackle area, and rucks. Because you find when we're defending, we tend to honey pot. That basically means like you commit more numbers to the ruck to try and get the turnover. If you don't get it, then means there's an overlap on the outside.
Okay.
Now for the kickoff, at least when we started implementing the pod system, we were retrieving our kickoffs much better. And you see it was very crucial in the game against Wales.
Yes.
Because when they were chasing the game and they had scored a try, and they wanted to retrieve the kickoff, you saw how high Andrew lifted Olindi
was jumping,
to retrieve that ball. Meant that we secured possession and we put
at the most crucial
time.
Yes.
I mean, teams of months gone by, that was still a 50-50 ball.
Yes.
But I think the small things that we've been able to do have put us in this position. I know those the voices of discontent when Australia went one man down and we chose to go for posts. I highly doubt that it's Olindi who made that call, because first of all, he's one of the junior members of the team. And if you look across the board, there are a number of senior players in that team. So I suspect it was a team call for him to go for post. It didn't go his way, but the good thing about that...
So many people are asking why.
Now, sometimes you look at the safety and think, why? If the kick goes through, then we win. If it doesn't go through, then we settle for the draw and fight it out. Because what could happen also is that you might try to run it, you knock it on, and the ball falls into their hands, and there's trouble.
Because they were a man down. So
yes, they were. And look at this scenario. Look at this scenario. What if we scratched the ball and we lost it on a knock-on or considered a penalty on that ball? They would have easily scored.
Yeah.
What would you have been talking about now? Oh, the boys have been lousy all year round. Yeah. So for me, we played the safety, and the safety paid off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The good thing about that kick as well, he didn't kick the ball short.
Yes.
He kicked it and it went dead. So because if you kick it short, it's still in play. They can still counter attack. But if you look at the game against South Africa, after what I saw against Australia, because our defensive shape was much better, Australia is a team that's very technical. They spend a lot of time on set plays. And that's what did us in London, because we couldn't defend the ball on the wing. They kept stepping it back in, bringing it back in.
We kept biting from the wing.
Biting from the wing, committing it too early into tackles. But I think we made it a bit better. And that's why the Australia game, we put them under massive pressure. And that's a game I believe we could have won. Now coming to South Africa, it was a much better performance. What I kept saying in the South Africa game is, keep yourself in that game, because this is a pool that's going to be won on points difference. And that's what ended up happening. So keep yourself, because if you'd have drawn against Australia and had like a 40+ blowout against South Africa, we would not have made it. But we kept ourselves competitive up until the very end. And then that momentum, we built it and won against Wales. The thing I like about what we did in the Wales game, which has not been a feature throughout the season, is as opposed to playing one-track-minded, You take the ball to the wing, it's a rack.
Exactly.
You play to the other
Exactly.
side, it's a rack. You
Those gaps being
yes,
being
gaps
utilized
in
the
between.
middle.
If you look at the try that Nelson scored,
Yes.
Scored, yes.
it was a switch, a late
Of
cut,
Jeff, yes.
just slicing through the middle of
Yeah.
Jeff, because they know that this guy Jeff is the major ball carrier.
They'll
But
carry
he
the
played-
ball. So they
And
followed
of
him.
course, they were
They followed him
marking
as a
him.
fly. So
Yeah.
once he, and Jeff runs across as well.
Yes.
So and it's now good that everybody else is adapting to how he plays.
Yeah.
That he runs across once he goes to the first man and the second man before he's straighted, somebody picks a line and you definitely get that.
I think it was a much better performance, and we put ourselves in that position where we had a lifeline.
Yeah.
And you see on the day everything went our way because South Africa blew Australia away, and then Scotland did the business against Japan.
The universe was on their
Yes,
side.
I mean, and you see, it's you put yourself in that position
Yeah.
so that the gods of rugby can smile on you.
Yes.
Because it does not matter, even if we didn't
Yeah.
play our games well and Japan lost all their games, we could still be in that dogfight in the
Yes.
challenge
Yes.
trophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we made it to the quarterfinals and we were rewarded because the chips fell in the right places,
Yeah.
and we didn't even need day 2 for us to open adult beverages.
Yeah, that could. Oh, for me it started on
Frothy,
Saturday.
something
Yeah.
frothy.
Oh,
So-
immediately after that game,
Saturday.
the Welsh game.
Yeah.
And then we found out what the score against what Japan did to Scotland did to Japan.
And you realize we don't even need the second day.
That was it.
Finished.
That was it.
Done.
My struggle for coming to work is as a result.
From Saturday.
Yeah,
Wow.
bad news.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's good we made it to the quarterfinals, at least.
And
Yes.
we left the best
And-
for last. At
yeah.
the very last tournament when
Yeah.
our backs was against the wall. That goes to show you that this team can actually, this is something that they can actually do.
I was saying it last week.
Yeah.
And
I was saying it last week. When this team takes, it's going to be very difficult to touch them. And they've already shown us what they can do.
yeah.
There's nobody in
guys-
the world who has introduced 5 new players in the series and have all shown good skills and,
Yeah.
and be at that stage. And nobody. Not
Guys,
even New
do you
Zealand.
think that the pressure that was surrounding this particular leg could have
Yes, of course. Like I told you, an animal that has been backed up to the wall,
Yeah.
it will come out fighting. And you see, there's been so much negative vibe around the team,
yeah?
and sometimes it just gets to you as a playing unit
Yeah.
and say, guys, it is time to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And that happened this weekend.
Now the thing about pressure, and this is, I think, is the benefit of having senior players in the team.
Yeah.
Because imagine such pressure implemented on junior players.
Junior
Yes,
players,
yes.
They're
yes.
not. I mean, they could crack under pressure
crumble.
because
Yes, yes.
pressure does. It could go either very well or
It could
very
be
badly.
positive or
So and that's
completely
the
negative.
benefit of having Andrew Monde and,
Yes.
and Jeff Olwach.
Olwach.
Actually, even Cyprian Kuto, who's played in the system for.
And
a
even
bit.
Oyo now.
Yeah, Nelson
Yeah.
Oyo and my favorite player Bush Mwale.
Bush
course.
Mwale. Bush the Forest Mwale.
Yeah, so
Bad
you
news.
see, they took this they took this pressure and turned it into something, a motivator for them
Exactly,
to deliver.
yeah.
And you see, I saw a comment by Jeff, and he said he did not want to be a part of the players who led Kenya to be relegation,
yes.
be relegated.
Yeah.
So he put himself out there because you see, if knock on wood things don't go your way, people
Yeah.
will come back to the statement that you made. But he's put his neck on the line, and they delivered. And
Yeah.
congratulations to the boys.
Yeah, and now we're past this,
Yes.
and at least we survived.
Yes.
But now coming from this, what should we be talking about next?
That should be better. We
Because-
should be talking
Because the
about
boys did their
the
part
qualifiers.
and they survived.
And the union, the government through the union is doing their part now. That was very encouraging. Last week they had to release some money and then do a long-term plan for
Yes.
the coming season as a government.
Yeah.
So
Because
that
we
already
definitely
showed-
don't want to be in such a situation again.
You see, when all else fails,
Yeah.
it is the government that we rely on to sort out things. And in sport, and for me, I think it is important for federations and unions to start looking the government way and stop thinking that the government is their enemy. What the government will be doing for Kenya Rugby in the next few weeks
Yeah.
is able to keep us afloat at least for the next 2 seasons. And imagine if we started this earlier, if we started this discussion earlier. But we were so arrogant before.
Yeah.
We thought everybody else needs us. We don't need
Yeah.
anyone.
We're not listening to each other.
Until the corporates shut their coffers.
Yeah.
And then we realized,
We-
we are orphans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very good thing that the government has come in. Now we can have some time. I hope the team is kept as tight as it is for us to prepare for the qualifiers. I think in another 3 months.
Yes.
And then go on to prepare as we prepare for because we do the qualifiers and go straight into the season.
Yes.
So I hope that build
that
up
period
now can
should
be done.
be.
Yes, can be done well.
I think for me there's two key things that I believe will change where we are. First of all, Ben just talked about injection of resources from the government. I believe for you to have a successful season, you need to put a lot of emphasis on the preseason. I'm always a big proponent of preseason.
And this is something we didn't have.
Yes.
No, we did not.
And
We're
you
just
see-
squabbling about who makes the team. We don't have money.
Yeah.
Who does
And you
what?
see, is twice as important this time round because we have the qualifiers, we have the series, and then we have the Olympics.
The Olympics, yes.
So you should put yourself in a position whereby you have enough depth in your squad to carry you through all these tournaments.
Yeah.
And that depth, obviously, needs for you to have those conversations about having players commit themselves for this entire period.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at, more developed countries in terms of the sport, you find they offer 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
Because they lock you down for those 2 years and they're able to plan best for those 2 years.
Yes.
But you see, for us, unfortunately, we've not had that luxury of tying players for a long period of time.
Yes.
Now, the other thing, and I might be crucified for saying this, is
We're
as
always
a
crucified.
as a country, ask yourself why we are facing relegation, yet 5 of the best players that Kenya has ever produced are playing in Russia in a sevens tournament. I'm not saying that
That
you
is a
bring.
very good question.
I'm not saying that you
That
bring them
is-
back into the
yeah,
team,
yeah.
but have those conversations.
Yes.
Not necessarily about the individuals, but have a
But-
conversation about
situation.
the situation.
Yes.
How do you have a system whereby everyone feels included, that you have the luxury of picking from the best? And I'm not, once again, I'm not singling out those particular individuals.
Yes.
But if you're facing relegation and you have your players playing in another tournament, one of the players is a top try scorer in that tournament.
Yes.
Look at yourself and put systems in place to avoid such. And I believe this can be avoided by open channels of communication. And then, sitting
It
across
boils down to
each
that
other.
communication.
Yes,
because
don't
that
let
whole not talking to
yes,
each
don't
other
let
and not
situations
listening.
escalate
Boil
to that
over,
point.
yes.
Don't let them escalate to that point. Because this one time it could be that group of players, the next time it could be another group of players.
With a new set, the
Yeah,
ones,
yeah.
who-
The
the
ones
ones we've
from-
just bred.
Exactly, the
Yes.
ones you just bred. Because if you don't deal with the underlying issue, it will just keep cropping up, no matter who is in the system or who
Yes.
is not.
Yeah.
So do you have yourself a solid preseason? And a
Yes.
solid preseason can only happen once you have all the players in that you want to have to use throughout the season.
Yeah.
That's at least a 12-week period. you
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
know? Yeah, nothing less than 12 weeks.
And you see, on Saturday, there's a fan who told me this. I want Kenya Sevens to be relegated because when they get relegated, that's when things will start being done.
Not necessarily. It could have worked against us majorly because look at the money the government is committing.
Yeah.
300 million is not little money. If we were not in the series, they would never have released that money.
Yeah.
And that 300 million is not only going to the sevens team. It's got the 15s,
Yes.
it's got the cheap guys in there,
Yeah.
it's got the ladies teams as well.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the age grade rugby that is being run from the same coffers. So if this team collapses, we are cooked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was important, and the reason I understand the anger they have
Yes.
about us not having the best players that we could have had this season, but the consequences of us not being in that league
Yes.
for the next season would have far much outweighed with the benefits.
Yes.
So we were not happy that things went the way they did. They did. But now we realize how important it is.
Yes.
We've learned from even just being under pressure.
Yeah.
Because there's some people at the union who aren't sleeping.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I don't think the CA ever slept in the last few months. Because
Yeah.
people are on our case throughout.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
such things is what to expect from a team like Kenya. Hungry fans
Yes.
who
They demand for results and they demand to see them now.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
They demand because they've seen it done before.
They've seen it
Yes.
done before.
Now, the thing that I believe would be very unfortunate is if we don't learn from this situation.
Yes.
Because out of every adversity, you should learn, pick up the lessons, be humble enough to learn from those lessons, because you could look at it and say, you know what, I want to teach X and X a lesson.
Yes.
I'll be hard-headed, this is my way or the highway. Or you could say, you know what, guys, this is what we did right, because there's some things they did right.
Yeah.
This is what we didn't do right.
Now let's work on.
This work on
What you didn't do
we
right.
didn't do right.
And improve on what you did.
Yes, and complement what we did correct. And
Yes.
I mean, push us to the next level. There's much more to Kenya rugby than the sevens.
Yeah.
There's the 15s.
Yeah.
And that's why if you break it down, that Andrew Amonde running against that guy from Wales to prevent him scoring the try, it has major implications.
Did you hear what Andrew said at halftime? That this is our life.
Yeah.
Us leaving that stage
Yeah.
would have meant that 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, we might not be in it. And once that is the case, then we'll just be having stories. Oh, we had great players here.
We used to.
Okay, I love him here.
We used to.
Well, bad news. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
When Lavin's son grows up and plays in that team, he'll be proud that his father did what he
Ish.
did.
Ish.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
And many more of us.
yeah.
So when our sons say, my father started this,
Yeah.
then we are happy.
Yeah.
We're not happy when all else, and because this is, without Kenya Sevens being in that stage, no man would come to the union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, so much emotion, but yes.
Yes, that's how it's got to be. You see, it's an emotional game.
It
Yes,
is.
it
It is.
Yeah.
Ooh, it
Whoever
is.
plays this game and is not emotional is not good enough.
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Simbas now.
yes.
So we have the provisional squad for 2019 international duty.
Yes.
And there we are.
It's an interesting mix. Obviously,
Notably, it has very many KCB.
But they're the
Players.
champions.
they're the champions.
Yes.
You know, I was looking at this list and I was wondering, how come Cabras don't have players? Then I remembered
wait.
three quarters are ineligible to play for Kenya.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
I knew you just had to.
No.
no, I mean,
No.
It's true.
Is it not true?
Is it not true?
Now we are seeing what you're talking about. Now those that we hated, those are saying that we're hating Cabras. Where are the members of the UNI when the nation needs them?
Anyway, Cabras aside, I think it's a mix of experienced players with a bit of youth.
Yes.
Obviously, this is I mean, it's quite evident that the new head coach he has plans beyond
Yes.
Elgon Cup, which is
Yes.
later this month.
Yeah.
So I think
And you have senior players missing out, like the likes of Peter Carrier.
and you see, I think that's the reason why I say he's looking at it. I mean, beyond.
Yes.
I think he's looking at it long term, because I see he's included quite a number of
The young.
the young
young
guys.
lot, yes.
And seeing that he's had a good relationship working with the Chipu,
Yes.
I won't find it hard to see quite a number of them actually making it to the senior side and playing for a long time, because they had a good campaign
Yeah, they did.
in the Bates Cup. So I think it's a good squad. I'm excited. I saw people asking, how come Andrew Amonde is not there?
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, Andrew has done his bit. If I was Andrew,
What more do you
what
want
more
from
do you
him?
want? No, but I believe the next set of fixtures we have ahead of us, we don't need. I mean, let Andrew relax.
Actually think Paul is looking majorly at the future of 15s.
Yes.
Not this World Cup.
Exactly.
He's looking from the next World Cup onwards. And you can see from his big players he's worked with, both at the junior level, and you can see even those that you've not worked with at the junior level are pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite the selection. I was quite happy to see it.
It's encouraging.
Yes,
Very encouraging.
Yeah.
yes. I only wish Curtis was there to assist some more.
That's, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
The core
the
KCB
core,
Yeah.
coach.
the core of the team is his team. He knows quite a bit. I'd wish it's my wish that Curtis would be part of this coaching squad.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
it's funny how
Considering he has so many of his players in this squad.
And not only that, you see, winning Kenya Cup back to back 3 times, sheesh, it's a difficult.
It tells something.
It's a very difficult thing to
Yeah.
to
I
do.
think it's set very high standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think after being threatened by Mean Machine, I haven't seen any of the players in the team. So
Yeah, they don't have any
I
actually.
mean, it's hard for
There's no
selectors to
winning
go to
machine.
championship games. I mean,
There's also no Strathmore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it will be difficult.
yeah, it will be difficult.
To pick somebody out of that many,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least Black Blood have one.
Yeah.
the solitary one.
But I'm excited for the 15th season coming up.
Thanks to Harlequins, the black blood guy got picked.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Harlequin's doing CSR.
you're
that was
taking
that was their
credit
CSR for the
for-
season.
What do we credit?
You're taking credit for.
if we never lost to them, they would have never seen that.
But one thing I hope for the 15s is
Yeah.
they get the investment for 15s is it's
Massive.
much more than for the 7s.
Yeah.
Because you're working with a big number, we're working with a big squad, and you see it's a provisional side that still be wilted down as competition
Time goes by.
goes by. But remember that the 23 selected on particular match day,
Yes.
there's still quite a number of players that have to be in the system. So maintaining them in the system and having the training facilities that you want them to have, that takes a lot of investment.
Yeah.
I just hope Kenya Rugby can throw away that container that they use as a gym and actually have good facilities.
No, there's a gym
Container.
next door that we reached a concession. I keep forgetting its name. They'll allow us to use the gym now. So
That's good stuff.
That's,
Container.
No, but
that's what we've
it
used
is,
for a
yeah.
while. We were world beaters training at the container.
Yeah, I mean, if
Usidharau container.
yeah, so kazi inafanyika huko on the ground. On
Yeah.
the
ground.
On the ground. People are working on the ground.
Unwound.
Yes.
All right. So now, before we go, we're gonna do something fun. We're going to have
Is it the
a selection
competition
of.
you're saying?
We're going to have
I'll be mom.
a selection of. Okay, Benja, there's going to be a prize.
I can walk out.
When you walk out,
Listen,
please remember
listen.
to leave the microphone.
Now, please don't go with the microphone at home.
I go over to hear me cussing.
I know. No. Okay, there's gonna be a prize.
Yes,
Don't worry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's cool.
So we'll have a selection of players on the screen, and you're going to name the player. We've blurred out their faces so you can't see.
Yeah.
So you're just using their
The
Okay.
rest of the bodies.
yes.
It must have been fun for you to do that. that exercise, isn't it?
Benja,
Were you challenging yourself to know who you know
please
by
let's have the
by
pictures.
the way they're running?
Please,
Is there any criteria of who starts first?
we'll start with you, Loving.
Oh, wow.
Who's that? Who that?
Guy.
Who that? You have at least you have the team.
Yes.
It's Harlequins.
That
And this is not this season.
no, it's not because one of the Kanga the twins
Kanye
is
the
there.
Twins is here.
This I believe. This is more difficult than I thought. It's too tall to be your hooker.
Look at his arm. It will show you.
Wow.
At his wrist and his elbow. It will.
Let me go with, is it Patrice Agunda?
I'll go with Patrice as well. Because of the way he's holding the ball.
We blur out. Let's blur it out. Let's blur it out.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Oh, oh,
that's not Patrice.
oh no, it's not.
Patrice will be unhappy that we don't
Ronnie,
Yes.
Ronnie Musaja.
Yep,
Saja,
yep. All right, let's go to the second one.
Yeah. These are already saying.
Yeah, that's Billy the Kid Odhiambo.
Billy the Kid.
Uh-huh.
Yes. That one is so signature.
Yeah, and he always puts his socks down.
And after this, he's going to knock somebody senseless if he straightens the.
Oh, you know what he's
Yeah,
about to
the
do
next
after that.
bit,
What's about to
he's going
happen?
knock
Yes,
somebody
yes.
senseless.
All right, number 3.
Ah,
All right.
me, teacher.
Uh-huh.
Now we'll go first.
This, I believe, is Bush Mwale.
Yeah, me too. Bush Mwale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'd know.
Correct.
Do you know how to know Bush Mwale is?
Uh-huh.
Are you seeing his left foot?
Uh-huh.
Is one of the very few Kenyans who runs with his foot forward like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the trick.
No, that's not the trick. I've been
That's how to
I've worked with
identify.
him very long, yeah, to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, the next one. Surely.
Top leading try scorer, Mr. Collins Injera.
Yes, this Colo definitely.
Yes.
First, this tournament I can remember because it is this tournament that he made mints. Man, I was part of this.
You were.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Trademark trot to the line.
And then now,
Yes.
I think we should be having the last one.
And the fist.
Yes, the
fist.
Yeah. Number.
This is
Who is that? Nani mchafu?
yeah.
Ni mchafu?
I believe I know who it is.
Not Serrano.
Lavin, your pick.
I believe this is Moses Amusala.
Yes, Musala, that's him.
Blur it out. Kuna watu wanapoteza marafiki.
Sorano!
So Serrano, that was
Yeah,
one of my shit.
you had it.
In
Actually,
fact,
Benja said it.
You mixed me. I thought it was Sorano option.
I thought Amusala, but if you look at Amusala has got a much larger hand. So
And then just say it has a larger belly. No, this is
Amusala is wider.
Yeah, it's wider. This is Sorano.
Yeah, this is Serrano.
And this is the game versus Impala.
Yes.
And Kenya Cup last season. The semi-finals.
Okay. How do you think you did?
I mean, is it 3 out of 5? So 60%.
Mnajipea 60%.
No, but according to Matiangi, 60% is an A.
Even if you say 0%, there's no reward, so it's okay.
But you
I used
see,
to have a math
listen,
teacher.
you'd have.
I used to have a
There
math
was
teacher.
a reward, but you didn't get all of them correct.
There's no problem. Now the rules have come after the games. You ni
But
porojo.
Benja, surely.
Forget it. Carl, it's okay. We're used to disappointments. Kwani you have never seen Kenya Sevens beginning of the season? Be easy.
Anyway, thank you so much for participating
Yeah,
for free.
it's okay. It's all right.
There'll be a next time.
Yeah, next time,
Okay.
you'll ask us questions, we'll say footballers' names.
Kimtaniangusha, what?
Who is that? McDonald
Do
Mariga.
you know I'll just walk out. I'll just stand and walk out.
Nah, it's okay. We're just joking. Yeah, we got
Anyway,
you
thank
back.
you so much, guys, for coming.
Sante sana.
And before we leave, this is going to be the last show for a month. Yes, just a month. That's so long. You won't miss us too much. But yeah, it's just a month, and then we'll be back on your screens, making a lot of noise and annoying some people and pushing
yes.
buttons.
As usual.
Yes.
I don't annoy anyone. I'm
It's neutral.
at
It's
least not
okay, it's
intentional.
fine.
Not
Kuna watu
intentionally.
ni sawa, but
Nah,
anyway.
they get annoyed anyway.
Yeah, pushing buttons. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being with us, and we will see you.